Bonjour et bienvenue à Basic French 5. Hi, this is Dana from We Learn to Share, and today I'm going to share my knowledge on Basic French, and it is our 5th lesson, and today we're going to touch on asking what do you do for a living and answering to it, masculine and feminine articles, common interrogatives, and faire verb. But before we go on to the lesson, let's do a quick review about our last lesson, which was about nationality and talking about where you are from. So let's go over dialogue 1 first. Je suis française. Vous êtes japonais? I'm French. Are you Japanese? Non, je ne suis pas japonais. Je suis coréen. No, I am not Japanese. I'm Korean. Vous parlez quelle langue? Which language do you speak? Je parle coréen. I speak Korean. I'm pretty sure you guys know the meaning of everything because it was the last lesson. So let's go over dialogue 2. Enchanté, monsieur. Enchanté, madame. D'où êtes-vous, monsieur? Je suis de Séoul. Et vous, vous êtes de Paris? Non, je suis de Nice. The translation version of this is Enchanté, monsieur, delighted, mister, I'm delighted to meet you. Enchanté, madame, delighted, madam. And then, d'où êtes-vous, monsieur? Where are you from, mister? Je suis de Séoul, I'm from Seoul. Et vous, vous êtes de Paris? And you, are you from Paris? No, I'm from Nice. Non, je suis de Nice. Now that we went over the two dialogues, let's go on to our main lesson. Number 1, asking what do you do for a living and answering to it. In order to go on to the dialogue, we have to know our vocabs first. So let's go over that. Here, que means what? Travailler means to work. Faire means to do or to make. We're going to use the meaning of to do in this dialogue. Hôpital is hospital, and it's commonly used as l'hôpital because it goes with the le, and hôpital, le is the article. Dans is in. So in this dialogue, we're gonna say dans la vie, which means in life. Médecin means doctor who works at a hôpital. Vie is, like I said, life. Étudiant is a student. I am an étudiant. Journaliste is a journalist or reporter, and étude is the verb form of étudiant, which means to study. This is our second dialogue, and let's go over it. Dialogue 2. Qu'est-ce que tu fais, Cécile? What do you do, Cécile? Je suis étudiante. Toi aussi? Tu es étudiant? I'm a student. You too? Are you a student? Oui, je fais des études. Yes, I do studies. So, to go over line by line, qu'est-ce que tu fais, Cécile? Is another way of asking what do you do for a living to a person, but you guys can see that the first part is qu'est-ce que, not que, and the sentence form differs if you use qu'est-ce que, because qu'est-ce que allows you to write a verb after a noun, but if you only use que, you can use only a verb before a noun, so you can use it both ways. Qu'est-ce que tu fais, Cécile? So fait appears here again, which means to do, so it means what do you do, Cécile? And then je suis étudiante, and you can see that it's not étudiant but étudiante. You have an e after the étudiant part because it's a feminine noun. Je suis étudiante, and then toi aussi, you too. Are you a student? Tu es étudiant? And then the person answers, oui, je fais des études. But the person doesn't say, I'm a student. The person says, I do studies. So you should answer in a verb form, which makes the person to say, je fais des études, not étudiant. Great, then let's go over the entire dialogue. Qu'est-ce que tu fais, Cécile? Je suis étudiant. Toi aussi, tu es étudiant? Oui, je fais des études. Great. Okay, so here are some other expressions you can use for answering or asking. So let's go over it quickly and then move on. First, asking. You can also ask a person about their occupation, and occupation in French is profession. So you can ask, quelle est votre profession? What's your occupation? Repeat after me. Quelle est votre profession? And then you can ask, what do you do for a living? We learned this in Dialogue 1, so let's go over it quickly. Que faites-vous dans la vie? Que faites-vous dans la vie? And answering. Obviously, you guys have many different occupations, so it's obvious that you have to answer in many different ways, but here are some jobs that you can just learn as vocab. So here it says, je suis chanteur, chanteuse, which means singer. Je suis chanteur, je suis chanteuse. Next job we have is an architect. Je suis architecte. Je suis architecte. And then third coming up is painter. Je suis peintre. Je suis peintre. And then the last job we have here is actor, actress, which is je suis acteur, je suis actrice. Je suis acteur, je suis actrice. Okay, then let's move on to the second lesson of today. The second lesson is masculine and feminine articles. So in French, you guys have different articles for masculine and feminine nouns. So for a singular masculine noun, you use en. Singular feminine noun, you use une. And for plural, you both use de for masculine and feminine nouns. An example here shows how these masculine and feminine and plural articles can be used in a sentence, so let's go over it. Voilà un timbre, une enveloppe et des crayons. Voilà un timbre, une enveloppe et des crayons. So, timbre is a masculine singular noun. Timbre is a masculine and singular noun, so you use un timbre. And for enveloppe, this is a singular and feminine noun, so you guys have to use une. Une enveloppe et and des crayons. Crayon is plural, so you guys have to use des. So here is a stamp, an envelope, and pencils. Voilà un timbre, une enveloppe et des crayons. One thing you guys have to be mindful of is the pronunciation. So for une envelope here, you guys have to link the sound of the article and the word that comes after it because it starts with a vowel. Une envelope. You guys shouldn't say une envelope, but you guys should say une envelope like that, linking the sound. But for entendre, you shouldn't. And also for des crayons, you shouldn't because they obviously start with a consonant. Again, I hid my camera because we have to see this little box over here in the right corner. So anyway, we're going to learn about the definite article, which is the in English. So the article that we just went over is in English. So for example, you can say a water bottle or a mouse or a keypad or a highlighter, but in English, when you want to indicate a specific object, you say the. So the lip balm or the necklace and stuff. So this time we're going to learn the definite articles, which are the of French. So for a singular and masculine noun, you use le. For a singular and feminine noun, you use la, le la, and for plural nouns, you use les. In the example sentence, it says, "Ce sont les amis de Marie," which means they are Mary's friends. Because it's they, it's plural, so you have to say les amis. And you can also notice that you also have to link the sound of the article and the word that comes after it, like I said before. So, les amis, you shouldn't say les amis, but you should say les amis naturally. And the example in the box says les arbres, which means the trees. Next, we're going to learn about the faire verb, which means to do or to make. Here we have the verb faire, which means to do or to make. It changes form based on which type of person or which type of like singular or plural you're talking about. So for example, if you're the first person singular, you say je fais with an S. Second person singular is tu fais, also same with je fais with an S. Third person singular is il fait, elle fait. The pronunciation doesn't change, but you should change S to T. For a first person plural, you should say nous faisons, which means, not which means, but which changes its form into a slightly different version. Faisons, not fait, it's faisons, and you should be mindful of it. The second person plural is vous faites, the pronunciation changes. Third person plural is ils font and elles sont. It changes a lot. So the faire verb is a verb that changes its form a lot, so you guys have to memorize everything. Let's go over it one by one again. Je fais, tu fais, il fait, elle fait, nous faisons, vous faites, ils font, elles sont. The example sentence below is qu'est-ce que tu fais? What do you do? Like we learned in the second dialogue. And je fais du piano. I play the piano. Today we learned some interrogatives, for example, qu'est-ce que or quelle est votre profession, or qu'est-ce que tu fais? So we're going to learn about more interrogatives. When, where, how much, many, who, why, that we're going to learn everything today. So, quand means when, où means where. You can notice that we know où already because d'où êtes-vous, monsieur? Where are you from? Comment, how. We learned this in the very second lesson. Comment allez-vous? Very common. Combien is how much, many. You use this a lot when you go to France or other like French-speaking countries because you have to buy stuff and you ask the person of the price. Qui is who. Pourquoi is why. And qu'est-ce que that we learned today means what. For example, here, qu'est-ce que vous faites? What do you do? Let's go over it once again. Quand, où, comment, combien, qui, pourquoi, qu'est-ce que. Okay, this is the end for today. Au revoir, see you again next time. Thank you for listening to the lesson today.